Hello, and welcome to the review of an action movie called Hobbs and Shaw. I'm doing an Arnold impression even though Arnold wasn't in this movie.
But there were sure a shit ton of references to him.
Well, there was at least one direct reference.
Yeah, we saw Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
With a little bit of Deadpool.
And it was quite enjoyable.
And a little bit of Black Superman. And a little bit of Terminator.
It was a fun action movie.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the best thing you could say about it. It was a fun action movie.
Well, that's kind of what Fast and Furious has become known for.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Mission Impossible
Turn 'em
movies.
and burn 'em. Something like just crank out action movies. But like, they're also known for being heavily emphasizing family.
Family.
Like that's the whole thing with who was the main guy? Vin Diesel's character, whatever his name was always about.
I can't remember the character's name. I suck at this. Comment section is gonna roast me if there are any comments.
But yeah, it was very heavily character based. Like it was very much about Hobbs and Shaw more than just saving the day.
To the point where after the cold opening, it showed this montage of the two of them in their daily lives,
side by side, living their lives with Shaw being an uptight rich guy who's fancy, who likes nice suits and nice cars and nice women. Yeah. Because there were quite a few ass shots in his scene. And The Rock is, well, he's The Rock.
Yeah. So
he works out, eats ridiculous stuff, and
so it's basically,
and he's a family man because he has his daughter.
Family. But so it's like the spy and the heavy from Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, a little bit.
only Shaw is British, not French. Yeah.
But the cold opening is
food dispenser here.
Is like what the main story is.
A lot of action movies do that.
Yeah, because a group of I guess it's MI6, but they don't really specifically say it at first.
I think they actually did say it was MI6.
They're tasked with recovering something.
Yeah,
and they have to take out a team of bad guys watching it. So, but it's not immediately explained what it is. It's just it's important and people want it.
Yeah,
and we got the first shot of Idris Elba as what was his name?
Briggs, I think.
Yes, Briggs Lore. Who everyone in the theater guessed, well, at least I guessed, but everyone got wrong the answer when it was like, what is the name of Idris Elba's character? I guess
Time Play. It's a Cineplex Odeon.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, but people who live in the States might not know what that is, because I don't think they have Cineplex in the States. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
yeah, so we get a first shot of him riding basically the sickest motorcycle you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like out Bat Pod's the Bat Pod.
Because it can move its body and react to him and put itself perfectly in position for him to get on.
That's why I said it out Bat Pod's the Bat Pod.
It's like you want that motorcycle because that's just like, damn, that's so fucking cool. But yeah, so he basically interrupts them as the head of the MI6 team.
Yeah, and we're
not gonna say it yet.
Okay.
We're not gonna say who she is.
No, wasn't gonna say who she is yet. I was gonna say something about him. We get a shot from his point of view, and he has Terminator vision,
or Iron Man vision,
or RoboCop vision. But I'm saying Terminator because bad guy.
Yes.
And he actually says that the MI6 agent who are you? And I'm like, I'm bad guy.
I love that because he plays a really good bad guy because he's so upfront and just obviously evil. He's like, I'm the bad guy.
Idris Elba's a great actor. What can I say?
Yeah. And but he takes them all down.
Like basically, like it goes down like this, freeze, put your hands in the air. And he's like, he scans all their stats and stuff. He's like, nah.
And then beats the crap out of them.
Yeah. And somehow he stabs someone with a brick.
We find out later. Yeah. But she gets to the thing, and my first thought was it must be like a nanotech, Because that was my thought. Was like what he was augmented was probably nanotech.
I mean, technically that is true.
Yes, but she takes the thing, and she runs away with it because he chases her. Yeah, and then he makes a really. This movie does a really good job of, like, showing, like, well, they basically skewer the media to make her look like she killed all the MI6.
Yeah.
Like, it does a good...
her, yeah.
They did a really good job with the framing.
Yeah.
Like, because they framed Hobbs and Shaw later.
Yeah.
It's like, it felt smart, it felt logical.
Yeah.
Like a logical bad guy thing to do. Like,
of all things to see in a Fast and Furious spin-off, logic.
Yeah.
Common sense.
Yeah. But he basically has all the guys killed, bodies getting rid of, frames it on her, and then we get introduced to Hobbs and Shaw for the movie. With that awesome
montage,
split screen montage.
And then they get a call that they need to interrogate some mobster in some. It both happens to be in like really
clubs, but a different sort. Because like Shaw goes into basically a strip club, yes,
and strip club,
and Shaw goes into a tattoo parlor,
yeah, which is also doubles as a strip club.
Yeah, but they're a little bit different in how they're shown.
Yeah, like Shaw just dangles a guy out a window, and
Hobbs basically plays hangman.
Yeah, he tapes the mob boss to the tattoo chair,
and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna play hangman. Every answer you give me that I don't like."
and that's like, and that's at the end, like, what do you write? What do you write? It's like, I heart cops.
Yeah, because there was a lady working for him, and he's like, Hobbs is like, nice tattoos. Like, even though he's supposed to be on the job, he still takes out time to compliment.
Because action movie, come on.
A woman who had tattoos right above her boobs. Because of course they wanted you to see that and focus on that.
I mean, we got to see some of the, for some women and gay men, for something for them to look at later in the movie.
Yeah.
The Rock.
And all his relatives.
And his rock hard abs. That's why they call him The Rock, because his...
As opposed to his other thing, which we'll get to in his nickname.
Yes, the nicknames. So yeah, basically Hobbs and Shaw learn they have to work together, and they're like, no.
Yeah, and they argue with it. They insult each other. It's very good banter.
And then the CIA agents behind the glass are like, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there.
Shaw's like, no, I'm a smart man. It's like, yeah, there is a certain amount of logic actually in the movie.
We skipped something. We need to introduce awesome cameo of Awesome.
Ryan Reynolds!
Yeah, no, basically he's just Deadpool without the...
shows up to talk as the basically liaison for Hobbs, getting him up to date, forcing him on the mission. And also apparently having a backstory with them where they were... friends or whatever,
or frenemies, whereas like Ryan Reynolds' character is like, we're bestie friends, and it's like Hobbs like, no, we're not. And then like,
I have the same tattoo.
And it's like,
it's like, what the like, what the at the same time, Hobbs' daughter is sitting right next to him because they're in a diner.
Yeah.
Because he ordered a shit ton of food because he's The Rock. I love how the waitress was like, cheat day? Cheat day. Because The Rock does that. He's posted videos before of his cheat days of ridiculous. It's basically a biopic of The Rock. That's what it is. It's a biopic of The Rock. Playing The Rock.
Minus the being a secret agent thing, but
being a wrestler is pretty much the same thing.
And an actor.
Yeah.
And a bodybuilder.
But we got a lot of back and forth banter just between the two, just insulting each other.
And oh yeah, and like Ryan Reynolds was describing we didn't say what the MacGuffin was yet.
Oh, it's a biological weapon.
Yeah.
Basically, it targets DNA to what, as we find out later, it was designed to like spread healers and all that to help. But the main bad guys weaponized it. Yeah. They turned it into a weapon to basically kill the host and then kill everyone who's, in their mind, weak. Because, Darwinism.
Yeah, so Nazis.
Basically.
So hail Hydra.
but the whole plot is that she took it and ran with it, but she injected it into herself.
So yeah, I don't know how many of you have watched Mission Impossible 2. I don't blame you if you haven't. It's the weakest of the franchise, but I didn't hate it. It's kind of similar plot to that. Only in that movie, yes, it was a biological weapon. Yes, somebody injected themselves with it to keep it out of the wrong hands. And yes, it was designed...
Was it Simon Pegg?
No, the Simon Pegg only appeared in the third movie. This was the second.
Okay.
I don't remember who, some character who didn't show up again in the later movies. But anyway, and yes, it was created as supposed to be the, they called it the Chimera virus. It was supposed to be,
This was called the Snowflake.
Because, subtle. It's the SJW virus. Yeah, because that's exactly what it is. That's what we're gonna call it now from the rest of this video. Is the SJW virus. But anyway, yeah. Enough about Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah,
that's not
so
what we're here for.
Hobbs and Shaw have to go about finding her. Hobbs does it one way. Shaw does it his own way because he knows her, so he knows where to go.
And throughout the movie, there's this repeated line like I don't like being told to do things.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just back and forth. They hate each other.
Yeah.
They're still trying to. They don't even want to work with each other, but they kind of have to.
But the thing is, for what was established in the last Fast and Furious movie, that was actually a Fast and Furious movie, is that at the beginning of that movie they legitimately hated each other, but towards the end of the movie they kind of became more frenemies, where the banter was more rivalry rather than enemies.
I remember
they were more just rivals.
Yes. I remember Hobbs' line was like, "Listen to your voice." It's like
it's like dragging my balls through broken glass.
It hurts. and Shaw's was
like
your face.
Your face. It's like God vomited in my eyes, and it burns.
So that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They make fun of each other's race. Basically, Hobbs makes fun of British people, and Shaw makes fun of Americans.
Though he doesn't go for a Samoan thing, because that would be truly awfully racist.
Yeah, he just
there is a line in the sand.
Yeah.
Oh, and we'll get back to that Samoan thing later.
But no, they go to her, and she ends up fighting The Rock.
Yeah.
Or Hobbs. I just want to call him The Rock, but it's Hobbs.
He's The Rock, and let's just face it. Just like Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds, Detective Pikachu is Ryan Reynolds, the guy from Hitman's Bodyguard that wasn't Samuel L. Jackson was Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. And I really hope the next Deadpool movie references all of those.
So,
I really Deadpool needs to stab someone with a brick. He needs to have a giant Pikachu plushie in his apartment that you just know what he's gonna do with. Even if it doesn't show it on screen, though it probably will, because Deadpool. And he needs to say that somebody, ruined the phrase motherfucker. 3 things I want to see in Deadpool 3. Give them to me. Anyway, moving on.
But they find her, and The Rock takes her back to DSS headquarters, where he's trying to interrogate her about the virus. Oh, we also had an awesome line where we found out she is Shaw's sister.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because The Rock said, like, when Shaw walks in, and The Rock's like,
you and your girlfriend.
Yeah, and they're like, what? No, ew!
She is my sister. It's like, oh. She is too good looking to be your sister.
and then it turns into a comedic banter about how, especially when they're on a plane. Oh, we need to, before they get on the plane, they need fake identities.
Yeah, and The Rock's identity was, you want to say it? My cock's small.
Mike Oxmall.
My cock's small.
and in addition to that,
he made sure, Shaw made sure that The Rock got stopped by TSA, and it involved a glove and a full body cavity scan.
Basically, they're trying to. I think it was implied that Mike Oxmall was the identity of a pedophile or something, or like a drug smuggler or something.
But oh right, before that, because they broke in the DSS building, the bad guys, to take her away because they want the virus. And they had
again Mission Impossible 2, but better.
And Hobbs and Shaw had to find the guy who made the virus, so they
Mission Impossible 2, but better.
So they could get it out of her.
Mission Impossible 2, but better. I don't know. I can't not reference that because it's the plot of Mission Impossible 2, but better.
And also a really fun action. Like there's a lot of action in this movie.
Again, kind of like Mission Impossible 2, but better.
Was John Woo the one who? What?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the pigeon guy. Or doves, I mean.
For some reason, was given a Hulk movie to direct.
No, that was a different. That was Ang Lee.
Oh, Ang Lee, right?
No, John Woo did Face Off. Face off. Face off. His eyes, nose, mouth. It's coming off.
Right.
Look at this cage.
The one thing that ties the whole movie together is the idea of family, like very prevalent as we mentioned already. But it's like it drives everything.
Yeah,
even more than the fate of the world is at risk. It's more a lot based on family. So like The Rock or Hobbs' family, what he did in his past life,
and his daughter,
family.
She did a family tree project.
Hobbs cut himself off from his family.
Yeah, she had this little drawing of herself, Hobbs, and then like they had their own leaf, and then there was just the third leaf was a question mark.
Yeah, his brother.
Yeah, but the entirety of that side of the family.
Yes. Because
she only knew about her and him. And he never told her about anyone else in her family.
And we find out why later, but she finds a picture of him and of Hobbs from when he was young, along with his brother.
Yeah.
Which kind of sparks The Rock's character development in the movie.
And then we get something that's not quite as important with Shaw, but it's funny. His mom, who was in the last movie, is in prison. And he visits her in prison.
And they just keep making jokes about escaping prison and being spy-related jokes.
Yeah, like a cake made out of C4. But then she does address his family thing.
The fact that his sisters
doesn't come with him to these visits.
Because his sisters ran away from his life.
The fact that they don't talk to each other anymore, and she's like, they need to fix that.
Yeah, she wants to see both of them the next time they call, and as different in Hobbs and Shaw as characters they are, it's basically what the idea of family that brought them together in the movie and made them realize that they need to stop hating each other and work together properly. And that was some of the best scenes in the movie, is them working together, because not only
especially the climax. We'll get to that.
That was
but yeah,
they had friendly banter where they would mock each other. Oh, it's a Seymour type of thing.
Yeah.
But Idris Elba tried to take the sister, but they stopped him. So then they went to the doctor who made the virus, who said it was supposed to be for good, to spread. To spread, I forget what he said.
To cure, as an ultimate vaccine or something like that.
Yeah, spread vaccines to people easily.
Yes, exactly. But basically create a vaccine that acted like that spread like a virus, but didn't make you sick.
Yeah. Which is a okay goal.
But anyone who's seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes can agree. Even if it's not deliberately turned into a biological weapon,
it'll be eventually mutate into it.
And apes together, strong. You maniacs! Anyway.
So they have to. The only place they can save her is at the bad guys' headquarters.
I can't remember the name of it.
EDT or whatever, EDM.
It's something like.
It's not EDM because that's a type of music.
Yeah, no. But anyway, it's not important the name of the place. But
the bad guys.
Yeah.
So they have to go there.
I assume it used to be a nuclear power plant because they got all those big, steam stacks everywhere that you see in nuclear power plants.
But to get there, they have to go sort of undercover, sort of out in the open. So they go to basically Shaw's love interest.
Russian mobster.
Somebody who steals from Russian mobsters. They didn't say. They tried to get away. I don't think they tried to say she's a Russian mobster. She just steals from Russian mobsters.
and when we first see her, it's like she's like ransacked a big mansion and everyone in it is like strung up with duct tape
and being tortured. And Shaw walks in and they just start making out. And I love. I can't remember her name, but
Shaw's sister. Yeah.
Her reaction is like, I wish I didn't see that.
No. She said, I didn't expect to see that, and Hobbs was like, I wish I hadn't seen that. And he's like, me. She's like, me too.
Yeah, but her reaction's like,
but then Shaw's like, always over the top with you with the duct tape and she's like, you gave me 3 hours, and it's like 3 hours had nothing to do with it.
How many sex jokes can we make? How many innuendos can we make? My cock's small.
And there needs to be more Deadpool in the next one. I mean Deadpool. I was gonna say Ryan Reynolds, but no, Deadpool.
Oh yeah, we also had an important scene on the plane where they kept fighting back and forth because The Rock eventually got on the plane. He was accepted, and we see Kevin Hart playing a something.
He was a Air Force Marshal.
Yeah.
Air Marshal.
Basically telling them, like, giving them
like, back in the day, I used to be the top of the game, blah, 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 blah,
giving
blah.
his backstory and also at the same time telling them to get their shit in gear and work together.
And then, I could be your third man, and they're like, no.
It was like, what, do we want another Rock and Kevin Hart movie?
Oh yeah, because with one of the trailers before the movie started was Jumanji 2.
And they've also done an action movie together.
Technically Jumanji 3.
It's just Jumanji the next level.
Yeah.
It's not numbering, but they've also done...
We're probably going to see that because we like the original and the... It wasn't really a remake, it was actually a proper sequel.
Yes. But...
I don't know if this one's going to be as good, but...
I don't know. But I'm saying Kevin Hart and The Rock have done an action movie before together. Like they did one where The Rock was a CIA agent, but he was like a flabby kid in high school and all this stuff. And like I didn't see it, but Kevin Hart and The Rock have worked quite a bit together, so it's like they're trying to reference that subtly, but. And also funny, apparently Kevin Hart's office is a washroom. His name is Dinklet. His first name is Dinklet.
Yeah, with all the fake ID names, like his real name would be this.
So they go. I think they go to Russia. I can't remember where they go to the base. It doesn't matter. They never used the where we are. Well, they did a bit to show where Hobbs and Shaw were with the clubs they were at, but they didn't use it afterwards.
London and Los Angeles, I mean, some of the places they outright obviously say where it is, especially in the climax. But
they don't use the thing in the corner telling you where they are.
The thing that CinemaSins always, ding.
But their plan is they let his sister get captured. So Trojan horse, or the Mick Jagger plan.
Yeah, or as I like to call it, the Trojan horse virus.
So they take her right to the room because they want the virus out of her, because they want to make it a weapon. They obviously want to actually properly use it.
Yeah, but she breaks.
Is apparently a world famous escape artist because she escapes out of every single set of handcuffs she's in throughout the whole movie.
Because action movie.
With her signature catchphrase, "How long have you been working here?"
You look new.
She says that to every single time before she escapes a set of handcuffs.
I mean, it is a common action movie trope. Like Ethan Hunt does that in all the Mission Impossible movies too.
And like they captured the scientist to torture him, to use the virus.
you're going to turn this into a weapon, or I'm going to set you on fire.
Because first he uses a gun, picks up a goddamn flamethrower and torches a couple inches from his face.
Yeah.
Idris Elba, this is just an amazing, like, over-the-top bad guy. Like, throughout the whole thing, he's also getting improved on by the person who runs the main bad guy.
Because, yeah, now we can mention the two references that about him. Earlier in the movie, during a chase scene with his awesome, you know, Transformers motorcycle thing, Batpod thing, you know, the sister character explains that he's an upgraded cyborg because apparently the backstory is Shaw used to know him, but
they were in the same team.
Yeah, but
and they were offered the chance to join the. Shaw keeps calling it a death cult.
Yeah,
he calls them a death cult, and Shaw refused
and shot him 3 times in the face,
or 2 in the chest, 1 in the head.
Yeah, but
he made Shaw look blacklisted. He made it look like Shaw killed his own team and ran away, which caused the rift between Shaw and his sister. Because she believed that, and she bought it, so she ran away from him.
But yeah, now Briggs is, well, as they aptly put it, we're being chased by the Terminator.
Yeah. Because there's a scene later where it spins around him getting updated. You can see his metal spine and his back being sewed back together.
Yeah.
And they even... in a later fight scene, they even call him, holy shit, he's Black Superman.
No, like, he first calls himself, like, I'm Black Superman.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, he really is Black Superman.
Because of just the ridiculous shit he does.
I would really call him more Black Winter Soldier, but, yeah. Or Black... No, he's Cyborg.
He's Cyborg. And then The Rock decides to be rip off Captain America.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But... yeah, they end up attacking the base. They plant a hydrogen explosive with a timer of 45 minutes, and so they can get in, get out.
So hydrogen explosive, does that mean it's like a mini nuke?
I guess. Probably.
Yeah, but it didn't blow up like a nuke. The building blew up like they had maybe 200 of the regular bombs planted out the place. If it was a mini nuke, it would have looked like, well, a nuke. But
yeah, I don't know.
Action movie. Who
they called it? I believe they called it a hydrogen bomb.
Yeah, so that would imply a nuke. But who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Action movie.
But she ends up getting the device to free herself from it with the professor, who goes a little bit insane and starts torching people.
Well, I don't blame him because they tortured him, so it's a little bit of payback.
And friggin' had a whole couple minutes of just back and forth banter between Idris Elba, Hobbs, and Shaw. They got chained up to chairs. Before that, we have to talk about the hallway scene.
That was in the trailer, though.
I don't watch trailers. I try not to.
Well, I did watch the trailer, and that basically most of that scene was in the trailer.
They plant the bomb, and then they go into a hallway, separate hallways with no guns, so they don't, because they need somebody alive, because it's a face scan door.
Yeah. Yeah, they try to choose their door, and then they have scanners to see who's how many people are on one side.
And The Rock hits the hallway with one huge guy
who's wielding a wrench.
But he's working on a car.
Yeah, but since he's The Rock, he just punch.
Knocks him out. And Shaw is
just spending this a whole time just
building this up. Boom.
And then The Rock is just
He's just wasting time because Shaw has a room full of guys that he has to beat up, at least probably 10 or
12 or something
like that.
But then what the whole time The Rock's just dragging the really big guy over towards the scanner, and he slams his head on the thing and it works. But then Shaw tries every single guy in his hallway, and none of them work.
Until the last guy he finds who works.
No, I think what they did was no one in his hall would work, so they had to bring the other big guy into the other room. I think that's what they did. Yeah, that's what they did. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. Because he was the only one who had clearance for some reason. Either that or, Shaw was just doing it wrong.
But, yeah, they get in and they're immediately surrounded, obviously.
We would be honored if you would join us. Oh yeah, that's another. They didn't make this reference, but I did. Like,
no, they did make a reference to Star Wars. She said she was lying on the chair, and she's like, "Is this your?"
Is this your first on the Death Star?
Working on the Death Star.
Because yeah, basically, Briggs is Darth Vader. Let's face it, he's Darth Vader.
So they have Hobbs and Shaw set up, chained to whatever, with basically a torture system to shock them.
Yeah.
Because they've gone full ridiculous action movie villain.
Yeah. Well,
because Briggs wants to kill them because he doesn't think the bad guy thinks they can be turned to join their cause.
We didn't mention the big bad. Just this ominous computer voice, which is heavily implied to be a villain that the Fast and the Furious have fought before. I'm thinking it's the one from the last movie.
Yeah.
Because she did escape.
Yeah. They never show her, but they never show the person. But it's just like waves.
Yeah, but it's heavily implied it's her.
And she wants Hobbs and Shaw to join them because Hobbs and Shaw are worthwhile. But Briggs doesn't think they can be turned, so he just wants to kill them. But she's like, no, which is why he doesn't kill them right away. And
again, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like Emperor Palpatine telling, if he would join us, he would be a powerful ally. You know.
And then she, at least Hobbs recognizes that Shaw's sister is escaping. Yeah. So he buys time by using the Mick Jagger plan.
Yeah, distraction.
Which doesn't work because they've all got guns which need ID chips to activate, so she can't shoot them.
Well, it kind of works. They're able to escape.
Yes, but...
Because he was just going to kill them otherwise.
Yeah.
So it does kind of work.
And then they have a real elaborate escape scene with Idris doing really cool stuff.
As their base is blowing up.
Yeah. But they eventually are able to escape, but the device is damaged in the explosion.
Yeah.
So they have to go bring it to somebody to fix it. And here comes the plot, because they have to go back to the Rock's home of Samoa.
Yeah.
To the only person he knows who can fix it. A person who hates him.
So we get sort of
a mirror of Shaw's life.
Yeah. It's really complex, this relationship, but we'll try to sum it up as simply as possible. Basically, when the Hobbs and his family were growing up, their father was a chop shop dealer and
a thief.
Yeah, and a criminal, and he forced his own kids to do all his work, and it got out of hand. And
to the point where he's like, where Hobbs says his father didn't care if they died.
So it was like he turned them in, and then left. And
extricated himself. Because basically, probably in his siblings' eyes, he probably ruined their family. Because there were probably some of them that wanted to do it, and so when they got shut down...
No, they didn't get shut down. They still kept kind of doing what they were doing afterwards. Yeah. It's just without their dictator of a father breathing down their backs.
They eventually became clean.
Yeah, more or less.
They eventually started doing jobs.
And then there's Hobbs' mom.
Yeah.
There's one line where it was like, what? She's like, come eat, you're all skin and bones. I'm like,
it's the Rock.
That must be a lot of skin and bone.
It's the Rock.
His skin and bone are made of rock.
He works out 25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
The friggin' Hulk is looking at those abs and going,
damn. I need to work out with him. Yeah. So they take a trip back to Samoa because of Kevin Hart's character.
There's one funny line. It's not really important to the plot, but I want to mention it. It was back on the plane. There is some importance to it because it sets up that, shipping The Rock with Shaw's sister, and of course, obviously, Shaw hates that. Yeah. So The Rock, so Hobbs rubs it in by saying,
if she wants to get on, this mountain. I'm gonna let her
climb it again and again and again.
There was a lot longer line of him talking about himself and how attractive he is.
That he's a mountain.
Yeah, well, he is kind of. When you think about it, he's kind of a.
Kind of like how a Nostalgia Critic referred to Arnold Schwarzenegger in his review of Commando as a mountain. Like when in that big action scene at the end, another awesome action movie, even though it was kind of dumb. You know that all these people can't hit the broadside of the mountain. He's the mountain they're talking about. So a similar thing.
Yeah.
So The Rock really is kind of the new Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. He's definitely tried to be.
Though I still love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm gonna see the.
I mean, you can't do a
movie.
Rock impression, but you can do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Honored.
And they also kind of make fun of the Rock, like the Rock's real life, because his daughter tries to get him to do the people's eyebrow, and he's just ignoring, like, no, what is that? I don't even do that.
Or as Jumanji called it,
smoldering intensity.
It comes naturally.
As the new movie, as the next level calls it, you have
a stroke? You're having a stroke?
It's that face that you make. But so they have a whole scene, like the whole rest of the movie set in Samoa, basically, and it's awesome. Like it's all of Hobbs' family coming together. I love the first scene they show up because like Hobbs is nervous to knock on the door, and like Shaw and his sister are like, Shaw's like $50. He opens the door, punches him in the face. He opens the door, he's like, I think his name was Julian or something. You know what's coming. I do. Punch! And he rolls back down the stairs. Shaw's like, called it.
Yeah. But yeah, then we get the whole. He has to convince, the brother to help because he's a mechanic who can fix anything, because action movie plot convenience.
Yes.
And so they need to fix the machine to cure Shaw's sister. We're never gonna remember her name.
No. I don't even remember if they said her name.
They did. It says we can't remember it. But yeah.
Okay, Google. Now my phone shut off. It's okay.
Yeah, but
they basically have it getting ready for the oncoming fight scene where they set everything up with all the family to do all this stuff to get ready. Like they talk about their plans. Like at this point,
and they go low tech.
Yeah, because his mom's like,
got rid of all the guns. They don't like guns.
No, because like it's easy to pull a trigger or something. Like she doesn't. I forget what.
Yeah.
She doesn't like the fact that guns kill people.
Well, technically, the weapons they use can too, but
yes,
I mean,
but
they go old. They go old school. It's kind of like
I'm thinking it's the idea that a weapon is a coward's way out, kind of like a gun. It's like it's easy to use a gun.
Yeah, but of course they also have because of the plot device earlier of how all the bad guys' guns are like controlled by a computer.
And she took one of those chips and basically reverse engineered it to make sure that she could disconnect their weapons.
Yeah, so their own technology backfired on them.
And she could only disconnect them for like 6 minutes.
It was actually longer than that. It was more like half an hour.
Yes, but she said 6 minutes. She said I can only do it for like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 minutes of action, but considerably it's very fast paced. It is probably closer to 6 minutes.
Yeah, but they do all these things like they set up low tech explosives all over the cliffs and stuff, and they have these like axes and chainsaws and I don't know what the names of some of these weapons are. They're probably Samoan in nature, but they're basically old school, tribal weapons.
Yes.
And they even do a very, when the bad guys show up, they do a very almost like, I want to say Black Panther-like thing, where they do this Samoan war chant.
It's the Samoan version of a haka, basically. It's a war dance. I forget the exact name, but I know multiple different Polynesian countries have their own versions of it. where you basically like announce yourself to your enemy, and they had lines like, "Look into our eyes. It's the last thing you see before you die."
Yeah.
Like it's designed to intimidate you, and like they're going to war, and it's basically to get the blessing of their god.
Yeah.
It's very culturally specific to like very important to their culture.
Yeah, I gleaned that. Kind of like, you know, in Black Panther, they had their own kind of war chant.
It's different to different cultures.
Yeah.
Everyone interprets it, but it's basically that. It's an awesome scene of like everyone in shirtless, like pounding, like it's terrifying to look at. That's especially because the guys think their guns are gonna work, and they just was like, all right, light them up, and suddenly their guns start working. It's like, our guns don't work. Oh crap! Kind of moment where then they just go to town, beating the crap out of all the guys.
Yeah.
And like Jason Statham rides a car and sets a giant ring on fire.
Yeah.
And like luckily, he was able to make the machine work.
So at the rest of the movie, The Rock, or at least the rest of this action sequence, The Rock is shirtless.
Until he decides to put a shirt back on for the ending. For the ending.
But here's for you, you know, young women and gay men. Here's your
beefcake. Here's your beefcake.
Yeah.
A bunch of Samoan men, some better looking than others, some who go to the gym more than others.
And we're not even gonna talk about Hobbs' mom. Mrs. You're all skin and bones.
She's a stereotypical kind of mother.
Well, we won't say anything else other than she's large.
Yes. And everyone, even though some of her sons are, say, stronger than her and whatnot, everyone's intimidated by her because she says something and you listen.
Because she'll throw a shoe at you.
A sandal.
Yeah. It's more of a flip-flop, but yeah.
And like at that part, we got the backstory because of The Rock and his brother during that.
Yeah.
Because his brother is just soundly rejecting it.
And but then they do finally reconcile, and you know, like they apologize for everything.
The Rock had been gone for 25 years.
Yeah, and he said like, I did what I did for reasons, but I should have come back.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other things in that scene.
Well, then the like Hobbs and Shaw's sisters
have a very heartfelt moment where they decide, okay, we're gonna fix the wrongs we've committed if we live past this sunset.
And then she kisses him and she says that was just to lock it in.
Oh, because you know every woman wants to kiss The Rock.
Well, not necessarily every woman. I mean, like, lesbians might not.
Sure.
Or maybe they're just not into that much muscle. Some women aren't really into that much muscle.
Mm. But that she probably after feeling that was like, yes.
And some women are asexual, right? Just like.
But she lived a lot of people's fantasy.
Yeah.
Not just women's, but like a lot of people in general's fantasy to kiss The Rock. She was probably like, yeah. After filming, she's like, yes. But so yeah, and then
we get the scene with the trucks and the helicopter.
Oh yeah. Also, before that, Idris Elba was just kicking everyone's ass.
Well, yeah, because he's the Terminator.
He is. But so he brings in a helicopter for evac to take the.
Get to the chopper. I had to.
I know. He takes his sister, fly in the helicopter, and they basically take a tow truck and wrap chain around part of the helicopter to pull it down.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work.
Yeah, like,
so then they progressively get more and more cars hooked up into a chain, trying to bring the helicopter down.
So you know, like some of those old like little like toy car and train sets where you hook them up all in a chain. That's basically what they did, but on full scale.
Yes.
To weigh the helicopter down so it wouldn't be able to take off.
And then at that point, their guns started. At that point, I was like, just shoot them. But then their guns reactivated, so then they. I'm guessing the helicopter, for some reason, was on the same system as the guns. Because like, they could have just shot with the helicopter.
Everything that they used was on the same system. It's basically another message of this besides family. They outright said it at the end. You know, you can have all this technology, but it can't defeat heart.
Yeah. Because
it's kind of a similar message that George Lucas was trying to portray in Return of the Jedi with the Ewoks.
And also the bad guy's main plot was, well, to evolve humanity through
cybernetics.
Yes. Even Idris Elba had a really weird scene of like, what is a human body worth? A couple pence of aluminum, a couple pence of magnesium, some calcium,
some iron.
Basically, he's like, the human body
is worth about maybe three and a half pounds.
Like, trying to ram home the idea that humans aren't worth anything. Humanity isn't worth anything. That basically our bodies are designed... Oh,
obsolete.
Yes. And that through... The only way we can survive as a race is through technology and upgrading ourselves.
Elon Musk.
Anyway, so they end up crashing the helicopter over the side of a waterfall, where we get the final action scene where the whole time nobody's been able to, they haven't been able to beat Idris because of his scanning ability.
Yeah, like he knows what is coming
and how strong you're gonna punch.
Yeah,
like,
because as long as he can see it. But that's what. Well, at the same time, like the sister, her the machine is working. It was taking
it's almost
half an hour.
done, and he's like, "Here, once it's done, pump a full clip into her."
Yeah,
because they don't need her at that point.
Yeah,
but then he has to fight Hobbs and Shaw, who are able to. At this point, they've put their differences aside, and they've basically become friends.
And they realize
they bonded over their families.
Yeah, and they realize the Briggs's kryptonite. He can only react to one at a time. Yeah, because he as long as he can see you, he can kick your ass. So that's why they decided with the plan. One of us takes the punch, and the other one gives him a punch.
Because he couldn't react fast enough to look, respond, and then. So it's like a 2-on-1, but he hits Shaw, he hits Hobbs, so Shaw is able to get an elbow. Yeah. He hits Shaw, so Hobbs is able to get in a headbutt. Eventually ends with he basically gives him a suplex onto some rocks. Basically.
Because wrestling.
Yeah, because wrestling. But, that was the only point. That was the only part of the big fight that I found really cheesy. Was Roman Reigns using his wrestling moves and it's fine in limited because it's there have been movies where The Rock has hit his signature move, just rock bottom the guy through a piece of glass, and that's kind of played off for laughs. But this isn't this fight scene is deadly serious. It's life or death. Everyone's fighting.
Well, it made sense because they knew his weak point was his spine. That's where all the technology was. And the point was to smash that onto a jagged piece of rock to damage it, so it made sense.
But also, I'm thinking more using wrestling moves in the giant circle fight scene before that. Because, Roman Reigns was doing that. It's a lot of the media for this movie is just always mentioning Roman Reigns! Professional wrestler, Roman Reigns! Because, The Rock has kind of evolved himself past wrestling. More people know him from acting nowadays than probably wrestling fans know him.
Yeah, but
he used a professional wrestler and he hit specific wrestling moves in a fight. I'm like, okay, but it didn't feel right for some reason. It felt a little bit out of place.
I was fine with it.
The spine thing makes sense because you want to target the spine, yes. But
speaking of that, there's something else I want to mention. Again, not really important to the plot, but that doctor, scientist guy who
Oh, Idris Elba just snapped his neck.
That's like Bane.
It's in the middle of the fight, just. It literally felt like it came out of nowhere. It had no build-up, had no anything.
That's why I said Bane. Dark Knight Rises. Kid, that was Bane's thing.
It just felt like, whoa, that character deserved better. He wasn't really a character, but he was still integral to the story.
Yeah.
And you just snapped his neck.
That's why I said Bane. Bane that was Bane's thing in the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, but he broke Batman's back, not his neck. Or he broke other people's necks.
Yeah, everyone else but Batman, he broke their neck.
But yeah.
The only reason he didn't do that to Batman was, you do not fear death, you welcome it. Your punishment must be more severe. Anyway. But yeah, they gave the Idris Elba, the Briggs speech, you know, like, I could shoot you, but you have all this technology, but we have heart. So he just drops the gun. But it doesn't really matter anyway, because the big bad computer
just shuts him off.
Yeah.
Basically killing him. And as he falls off the edge of the cliff, symbolically.
Yeah.
I think his last line was something like, "Oh, so that's how it's gonna be," and then falls.
Yeah.
But the day is saved. They basically go back home their ways.
Yeah.
They split.
Yeah, like Shaw and his sister go to
visit their mother
and give her a cake, and it's like just. Yeah, basically they don't outright say it, but like
he's like, I don't need it. I wouldn't need it. And then he says, "Let's get out of here."
Yeah,
insinuating that she blows up the prison.
No, but then Shaw's sister turns to the guard and says, "So how long you been working here?" and then
finally Hobbs brings his daughter to meet his family.
Yeah, in Samoa.
Yes, in Samoa, and his mom is all sad about it because she didn't even know. She didn't know she had a granddaughter.
Yeah,
she probably didn't know.
So that kind of makes me wonder: is like, does that mean he moved to Samoa, or is he just visiting?
He's probably just visiting.
Yeah, because
he's back in the States for the post-credit scenes.
There's like what, 3 or 4 of them?
Yeah. Everyone, a lot of them. Everyone left before the first set of credits ran.
Yeah.
They played a scene. Everyone left.
And there were 3 more after that.
And there were more credits followed by more scenes.
There were freaking more after credit scenes in this than freaking like an Avengers movie.
So basically,
well, the first end credit scene.
Was that the first one we just talked about? The prison?
No, that wasn't an end credit scene.
Okay.
I think that was part of the movie proper.
Oh, it was in the. It was supposed to be like the picture and credits.
Yeah.
Right before they played the main crawl, they had a bunch of, like, a lot of movies have that with pictures. Yeah. But it moved into that of them, and then it moved to Deadpool basically. Yeah. Calling Hobbs to get him to save him.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm bleeding. Oh, I've got like."
And the funny thing is, it turns out he was talking to his daughter. He explained this all to his Hobbs' daughter.
It's like, your daughter does a really good impression of you.
Sounds like talking to a mirror, which doesn't make sense.
and then as like the real Hobbs is like, I'm on, like have you seen the last episode of Game of Thrones? Right? No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
Because they were they were earlier talking about Game of Thrones. Like, yeah, Ryan Reynolds was talking about it to Hobbs' daughter, and Hobbs was like, "No, she doesn't watch that," and
she's like, "Yes, I do."
He's like, "You're not going over there anymore."
But then we get the payoff to that brick joke.
He's like,
"Oh, by the way, I managed to stab someone with a brick. It's surprisingly easy." We get a picture.
Onto the ground of a guy lying there with a brick in his chest.
That's why I want Deadpool to do that. Deadpool needs to do that in his next movie. Stab someone with a brick. There were a couple other end credits. Oh yeah, we have an ominous end credit scene that wasn't played for last. We something to do with the bad guy. Baddies. Can't remember what exactly it was about. Like it was in the evil headquarters or something, and they're can't remember that one. Yeah.
Oh, and Ryan Reynolds had called Hobbs because he said another virus had escaped.
Oh yeah, but he said instead of this one eating away from you from the inside, it eats you away from the outside. And I'm just thinking, Deadpool? You look like an avocado has sex with an older, more disgusting avocado.
You look like you face-fucked a topographical map of Utah.
You look like the inside of other people's assholes.
Oh, and he said, it's like trying to take off a kimono in a hurricane. I'm like, I don't understand that reference, but okay.
It's very Deadpool. But Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. And he is also Pikachu.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there was anything else.
Yes, there was one other thing. Another thing that paid off. Remember the airport scene?
Ah, yes. So Shaw gets a call from Hobbs while he's at a bar, and he basically Hobbs pays him back because the cops come outside and like, come out here, huge anus. And the Rock's like, I called because I wanted to hear this. And Shaw's like, this is not going to end how you think it is. Oh, I think it's going to end with a rubber glove and a
cavity search.
As he walks out to the cops. Which is basically the same thing Bart Simpson used to do to call into the Moe's Tavern where...
Is there a Seymour Butts here? I need to see more butts.
Yes, that kind of thing.
But yeah, that was the movie, and yeah. I'm just gonna say it right now. If you've seen the last Fast and Furious movie, I can't even remember the number of it. Was it like 8?
It was 8. It was The Fate of the Furious.
Yeah, yeah, but
it was supposed to be like theoretically the end because Vin Diesel's character goes bad and all that.
Yeah, no.
But it didn't do any. It didn't.
No, but what it did set up was like the villain from that movie, whose name was Cypher. She was this evil psychopath who wanted to take over the world. She escaped at the end of that movie. I think this movie at the end was basically all throughout was heavily implying because the computer voice, like we've met before.
Yeah,
you've caused problems for me before, and we will meet again.
Because this is like the 5th time Hobbs has saved the world. Apparently.
Yeah, so I think it was heavily implying that she was the one behind all this.
We'll have to see, because they'll probably make a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, these movies make money, so yes.
It's much more than just your, say, run-of-the-mill generic action film. It has a bit more personality. It has a bit more groundedness with the whole family, like... Because you root for the characters, you want to see them survive, but you also want to see them like reconcile with their family. And
I would actually say this was better than the last 2 Fast and Furious movies I saw. I think I saw the part of the 7th one and all of the 8th one. I didn't see any before that, and to me they were just like good, but kind of generic. Mm. But this one, yeah, it was above and beyond. Mm. I would actually compare it in quality to the recent Mission Impossible movies as being above and beyond the... except, I don't know if Jason Statham and The Rock did all of their own stunts. They probably did some of them.
I don't think it really matters. It's just...
But they're not Tom Cruise.
It's just Tom Cruise trying to
Nobody is Tom Cruise. Like, professional stunt actors will not do the things Tom Cruise does. And they outright tell him to his face... You are insane! I could only imagine what his insurance must look like. But he's rich, so he can afford it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see a crossover, though.
Yeah.
I would love to see a crossover.
But the movie is a lot more grounded than you expect for an action. It's like action movie. Like it has comedy. Like it's good comedy. Like there's no really bad jokes. Like all of it. It's not. If it's not funny, it's like, oh, that was like nice. Like the banter was really good.
Yeah.
The action was fun. There was nothing. No, like you could see everything. Sometimes the camera was a bit wobbly, but it worked because it was at least at the final battle. It showed how intense the final battle will be. It's like it's a fight for their lives. It's a fight to save the world.
Yeah. Fighting old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's a message that everyone can take to heart. Really, the idea of like letting go your past sins and working them out.
And fighting with heart is always stronger than technology.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like I kind of want to see a crossover between the Fast and Furious franchise and the Mission Impossible franchise now.
And I think you
make it happen.
I think you can go in this even without knowing much of the Fast Furious background and still get all the characters. Like they explain it well enough so that you understand why these characters are doing what they're doing.
Again, I only saw the 8th and part of the 7th movie, and I followed this just fine.
I think I saw the 7th with Stewie. I don't remember, but I know we saw the 8th.
Yeah.
But I think I did see a Fast and Furious movie with him. I think it was the 7th, but...
I only saw, like, the last third of that, I think. But, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need the rest of the movies to understand the characters and their motivation. Cause
if anything, this actually kind of feels like a soft reboot of the franchise. Like I know it's a spin-off, but they're setting it up as though moving forward they're going to be more of these rather than more of the full crew because, you know...
From what
because they took the 2 best characters from the franchise and paired them up, so, you know... I'd be totally okay if they just keep making more Hobbs and Shaw movies.
Yeah.
And just have the other characters make cameos from now on.
I think that was the end of Vin Diesel's story, kind of, from a certain point of view, was him getting his family... A certain point of view. Him getting his wife and child back, or like...
Well, his child.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
But from what I recall, this may have been, like... I don't want to say, I didn't want to use fake news, but there were reports that Vin Diesel and The Rock hated each other back behind the scenes, making the Fast 8.
Yeah, that can happen on a lot in behind the scenes. That can happen.
Yeah, if you're down for an action movie and you want a little bit more to it than just generic, go check it out.
And besides, Vin Diesel has Groot now, so he
he has Groot. He doesn't need this franchise.
Yeah, all he has to do for the rest of his life is say "I'm Groot" over and over and over and over again. He's got it. He's got it made.
Yeah. So.
I am Groot. It's his paycheck.
We are Groot.
Yes.
And we will see you next time.
So, I've been Ace. Keep one up your sleeve.
I'm the Outward Collector.
We'll be back. Maybe we'll go see Terminator Dark Fate when it comes out. I'm hoping it's better than the last 2 movies.
Keep it weird.
Bye.
Bye.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.